Hi, we from Group 7 will talk about development, poverty, equality and inequality. So, we choose question 1, which is analyze the relationship between income equality and education opportunities. We consist of 4 members, which is me, Nur Syahira, Nur Syuhada, RAMYAA and Amsyar. First, I will talk about background of analyze the relationship between income inequality and education opportunities. The inequality distribution of income among people or households within a society is referred to as income inequality. It is frequently assessed using metrics, which is calculates the degree of income disparity in a certain population. Conversely, education opportunities refer to availability, caliber and cost of education that people can obtain. Opportunities for education and economic disparity have a complicated and interconnected relationship. In addition, the quality of education accessible to the public is affected by income inequality. Living in a location with better funded school, which typically translate into better resource, qualified instruction and extracurriculum activities, is within the reach of higher income household. On the other hand, families with lower income might be forced to send their children to be underfunded, understocked school with cramped classroom, which will make a poor quality education. Income disparity has an effect on education prospect that goes beyond issues of quality and accessibility. It also has impact on people's capacity to pursue higher education and obtain the credentials and abilities required for improvement employment opportunities. Second, we will talk about the unequal related to the pursuit of dreams, education income inequality, and the hard path to equality. For many years, education has served as a ray of hope, offering a way out of poverty and a rung on the ladder to success. It is a fact that income disparity is growing at an alarming rate, which has long and troubling effect on the education system. Wealthy families provide their children with early enrichment program, top-notch education, and solid support as they navigate the complex path of higher education. In contrast, disadvantaged children struggle to make ends meet while adjusting to a life of deprivation. A new level of complexity is introduced by the relationship between education and the labor market. This brings up a serious question, which is the way our educational system is responding to these demands, expanding the economic divide by establishing a meritocratic hierarchy where only those with the means to learn the right skill can advance, or do we continue to support a system that upholds current disparities by ignoring the potential of people with a variety of abilities and skills? The third point is breaking the divide. Malaysia initiative to address income inequality and education inequalities. The first action taken by the Malaysian government was to extend early access to high-quality education. Affordable preschool education is made available through initiatives like the National Preschool Education Programs, which is Permata, which primarily serve underprivileged and rural areas. This set kids up for success by giving them a solid foundation and necessary skill that will lead to equitable opportunities. Next is financial support. Malaysia provide a wide range of financial helps program in recognition of the financial strain that obtaining an education can bring. Bantuan Sara Hidup (PSH) relieve low-income families of the burden of paying for school supplies and tuition by offering cash support. Furthermore, scholarships like Yayasan Pelajaran Mara are intended to support underprivileged communities, guaranteeing that gifted students are not impeded by a lack of funds. Third, bridging the rural-urban divide. The educational standard in urban and rural areas frequently differ. A program like Sekolah Bestari seek to identify and support rural schools in high performance, giving them access to extra funding and highly skilled teachers. This guarantees that rural students have access to the greatest education possible and closes the quality gap. Last but not least, technical and vocational training. Not every road to achievement takes one along the conventional academic route. Malaysia make a significant investment in technical and vocational education and training, which is TVET, in recognition of this. Initiative like Skill Training Center provide people with employable skill in vocational trades, providing a different route to well-paying jobs and financial security. Next, I will pass to the next presenter.
So, from the context of development, poverty, equality, and inequality, I have analyzed the causes of income inequality on education opportunities. So, at the first place, in developed and developing financial states, issuing resources and earning has been a major challenge across the countries. On the other hand, when income inequality is at its most critical level, it fosters community dissatisfaction and escalates the risk of political and social instability. Income inequality also raises uh, regulatory uncertainty, damages property rights, harms investment, and reduces GDP growth. Besides, research has found that higher income inequality leads to low growth in a country's economy. In addition, the agricultural sector, technological improvement, education, and the political economy are the main cause of income inequality. Furthermore, education has plays a major role in reducing income inequality. Financial help has significantly increased the number of university graduates. In addition, spending on education is justified as a highly effective tool for reducing disparities in income. Nevertheless, in the short term, a rise in the number of post secondary individuals will decrease income inequality. Still, it will result in a wider scale of income inequality in the long run. However, the study claims that primary and secondary school enrollment hurts income disparity, but university enrollment had a favorable one. Also, underqualified or inexperienced teachers has worsened the problem and lower educational quality. Furthermore, non an increase in income inequality is thought to hurt higher education, and non educated workers are having difficulty sending their children to colleges when their incomes decline. Additionally, individuals from backgrounds of socio-economic disadvantage frequently do not have equal access to educational resources as their more fortunate peers. Furthermore, disparities in education increase inequality in other areas such as gender and racial inequalities. Besides, poverty also causes inequality in education, which frequently leads low income families to make difficult choices between basics such as food, shelter, and paying for education and extracurricular activities. Another cause that leads to inequality in education is the inequitable distribution of resources among school districts, and also the lack of proper support mechanism for low income students. Plus, there are influence of racial, gender, and economic discrimination. Uh, when examining how various types of discrimination have influenced social identity development, it is critical to include both direct and indirect consequences. For instance, racial and gender discrepancies can have impact on societal interactions, such as unequal access to resources or preferential treatment for certain groups. Last but not least, economic imbalance can sometimes affect access to secondary education or quality of life. In summary, unintentional discrimination can cause people to establish false stereotypes based on their ethnicity or gender, which influences how they perceive themselves and who they associate with. All of these concerns will affect how people understand their identities about others. That's it from me. We'll pass to the next presenter.
Bismillah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to Sir Azhar and my fellow friends. So today I'm going to continue on the topic of prevention on income inequalities and education opportunities. So in low income countries, education inequalities are often worsened by a lack of funding for educational programs. Therefore, children from poor families are much less likely to have access to education compared to those from more affluent backgrounds. Therefore, the situation contributes to income inequality as educational attainment is closely linked to income levels. In addition, preventing income inequality and promoting equitable education is crucial for sustainable progress for a nation. By addressing income disparities in different nations, investment in education and targeted programs can break the cycle of poverty and highlight the value of education. So for the first point is the prevention through policy interventions. So the prevention effort through the policy interventions are needed since there are many systemic issues in funding that drive education inequality. For example, is the South Africa country with the income inequalities that has funded education, but despite government efforts, the education system in South Africa is characterized by crumbling infrastructure, overcrowded classroom, and relatively poor educational outcomes, perpetuating inequality and failing too many of its children, with the poor hardest hit. This environment in education sector were caused by the corruption and mismanagement of the people in the school themselves, such as the school governing bodies, as well as the principal and administrators. Research has also indicated that low pay, unfavorable working condition, and excessive student-teacher ratios are frequently the root causes of teacher shortages, placing excessive strain on educators and lowering the teacher standard. So the second point for the prevention is through significant initiatives. So firstly, governments of any country should also create significant initiatives and budgets for equitable funding to ensure all students, regardless of their socio-economic background, have access to the same quality education. Through diversified initiatives and affirmative action, community and government organizations should be able to advance inclusion and diversity in the workplace and in the education sector. For example, since changes to decentralization in 1999, Indonesia has been attempting to reduce educational inequality through enhanced governance. Basic education is currently funded by the district governments, with improved governance leading to improved distribution, priorities, and input quality. This also promise lays the groundwork for equitable development and addresses education inequality by guaranteeing that every child, despite their environment, completes their primary schooling with the ability to read, write, and count. Globally, India and China have also implemented educational initiatives to address income inequalities, such as the National Program for Universal Elementary Education and also free compulsory education, respectively, in a way. This strategy shows a dedication to eradicating educational disparities and encouraging inclusive development. Next, for the prevention through the education schemes, governments and business shall be responsible for putting in place efficient education funding schemes that can be helping to reduce income inequality and improve educational opportunities. Scholarships and financial assistance programs are also crucial in preventing income inequality and promoting equal education opportunities. This would also help underprivileged populations compete on an equal footing and pursue higher education, targeting those who may face financial barriers. In the notion of the targeted funding for underprivileged schools would help them to benefit from the allocation on the additional resources to low-income neighborhoods, closing the quality gap and providing comparable resources to all students. Furthermore, free or subsidized tuitions at all levels can also help to prevent unequal income and provide education to all communities. The government intervention was also required in implementing this kind of policies that would help to make education financially accessible, such as eliminating or significantly reducing tuition fees that would then bridge the gap between low-income and high-income students. Progressive taxation and wealth redistribution can also help prevent income inequality and improve access to education. For example, implementing a fairer tax system that reduces income inequality and generates revenue for social programs such as education and healthcare. And this would also promote social mobility and reduce the gap between the rich and the poor. So, for instance, Malaysia is also working to address income inequality and unequal educational opportunities through various initiatives. These include promoting gender inclusion, early intervention, financial support, and rural development. Programs like the National Preschool Education Program Permata provide early access to high-quality education, particularly targeted underprivileged and rural areas. Furthermore, financial assistance programs like Bantuan Sara Hidup (BSH) help low-income families pay for school supplies and tuition. Scholarships such as Yayasan Pelajaran Mara (YPM) support underprivileged communities and gifted students. Moreover, Malaysia has also invested in technical and vocational education and training (TVET) to provide employable skill in vocational trades. In addition, there is also scholarship program which target gifted girls from low-income home, enabling them to pursue higher education, which is called the Girls' School Scholarship. This effort demonstrates Malaysia's commitment to addressing income inequality and educational disparities, paving the way for a more equal and inclusive future. Next, the fourth prevention is through the cost of living. Making an adjustment on the minimum wage and basic income guarantees are also considered essential in addressing income inequality in education nowadays in the modern world. By addressing the cost of living through providing access to affordable housing and quality healthcare can help to alleviate financial burdens on low-income families, allowing them to prioritize education. Through the prioritizing on the infrastructure investment and community development in disadvantaged areas can also create a better learning environments and economic opportunities. This would then ease the process of allocating scholarships and financial aid specifically to underprivileged students based on merit and need, ensures access to higher education regardless of their financial background. In addition, skill development and vocational training should also be given equal importance alongside the traditional schooling. By placing an emphasis on equipping individuals with employable talents, society can ensure that everyone has the opportunity to gain practical skills for well-paying jobs. The goal of the government skills enhancement and vocational training program, which should be carried out through the government private academic agencies, would also be able to help the people to be equipped with better employable skill for higher paying jobs and better income prospects. Lastly, for point 5, in the prevention through the early education, early access to high quality education is also crucial in preventing income inequality and ensuring equal education opportunities, and in providing quality education. Affordable preschool education and early intervention can provide children, regardless of their background, with a solid foundation and necessary skill that will set them up for success and provide them with equitable opportunities later in life. Through the implementation of universal preschool and early childhood education program, will ensure that all children, regardless of their background, have access to quality early education. This will provide a strong foundation and equalized starting point for all students. This would also provide for low-income students that the advantage from government or private providing a mentoring and career guidance services, as they are substantial to them in assisting on navigating the educational system and making well-informed career decisions throughout the future growth. Additionally, research on income inequality and education disparities would also offers important support and data analysis, and then can be utilized to monitor progress towards lowering these disparities and inform effective policy interventions. So for the conclusion, into these strategies, it is important to ensure that the education system is flexible and responsive to the needs of the students. Equity and inclusion should be principle underlying the main resource allocation mechanism. All relevant stakeholders, including students and educators and policymakers, should also be engaged in implementing policy frameworks that strengthen coordination and create a more equitable education system. There must be a multi-pronged approach to end educational inequality. It is also imperative that all levels of education be equally accessible to high-quality instruction. Underprivileged population can also compete on an equal footing with the support of specific financial assistance and scholarships. It is also possible to equip individuals with the support of specific financial assistance and scholarship, and also by prioritizing development of skills and vocational training, irrespective of the academic background. By fostering expertise from every socio-economic class and helping them reach their full potential, we also can eliminate educational inequality. In order to promote inclusive sustainable growth, equitable education funding can break the vicious cycle of poverty and inequality. That's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you to my fellow members. Hi, I'm Syuhada. Today we delve into a critical discourse, breaking the cycle of poverty and inequality. My focus lies on the conclusions and recommendations derived from an in-depth analysis of the intricate relationship between income inequality and educational opportunities. Let's start with the vicious cycle of poverty. Limited access to quality education for low-income families become a formidable barrier, hindering upward mobility and perpetuating economic disparities. Real-life examples vividly illustrate the urgency of breaking this detrimental loop. Next, unequal educational landscape. Despite education being hailed as the great equalizer, disparities in access paradoxically widen social and economic gaps. Affluent individuals enjoy advantages such as superior resources, contributing to increased earnings and deepening existing inequalities. Urban and rural educational disparities serve as real-world cases. Turning our attention to Malaysia, we find a beacon of hope. Initiatives like the National Preschool Education Program, Permata, and Bantuan Sara Hidup (BSH) exemplify targeted measures. Success stories from Sekolah Bestari showcases how comprehensive strategies can bridge the educational quality gap. Next, an often overlooked facet is the impact of gender disparity on educational opportunities. Programs like Malaysia's Girls Scholarship Scheme demonstrate the need to break down gender-based barriers. Emphasizing STEM education for females not only promote inclusivity but also encourage more women to pursue lucrative careers. And the fifth one is global ramifications. Beyond individual nations, the global community is affected by educational inequalities. Disparities can lead to an imbalanced workforce, hindering international collaboration and economic growth. Real-life instances of Alright, let's talk solutions. It's not just about identifying problems, it's about finding recommendations that work. Here are some key recommendations to break the cycle of poverty and equality. First is ensuring equal and free access. Detailed strategies must address financial constraints through scholarship, as seen in Malaysia's Yayasan Pelajaran MARA (YPM). Geographic limitation demand infrastructural improvements, exemplified by initiative ensuring rural areas have comparable educational facilities. Second, scholarships and financial assistance. Implementing targeted scholarships and financial aid programs requires studying effective models like Malaysia's YPM. Tailoring programs to support underprivileged population enables real-life transformations, allowing individuals to pursue and compete education against financial odds. The third point is skill development and vocational training. Acknowledging diverse talents. Practical examples like Malaysia's Skill Training Centre (SLC) emphasize the importance of vocational training. Success stories underscore the need for a multifaceted approach to skill development, preparing individuals for diverse career paths. The fourth point is comprehensive policy interventions. Effective policies should learn from real-world examples of countries addressing root causes. Malaysia's initiative in the agricultural sector and leveraging technological advancements provide tangible models. As a mining hub, political and economic systems promote inclusivity or perpetuate inequalities inform comprehensive reform. And the final point is global collaboration for lasting impact. Drawing inspiration from real-life success like Malaysia's initiative, global collaborations become imperative. Countries sharing knowledge and resources can collectively learn from each other's experiences. Real-world examples of successful cross-border collaboration can serve as blueprints for a united effort against educational and income inequalities. In conclusion, breaking the deeply entrenched cycle of poverty and inequality demands not just theoretical framework but real-world detailed interventions. By learning from successful initiatives, addressing specific barriers and fostering global cooperations, societies can pave the way for an inclusive, sustainable and equitable futures. Thank you for joining us in this exploration. If you found this information valuable, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more insightful content. Let's keep the conversation going in the comment section. Until next time, stay informed, stay inspired.